There's one very obvious message in Thanks to Minnie, and that's rumours are bad. You shouldn't gossip. And for me, not being a fan of Clarabelle, the fact that she was kind of the cause of all of the problems in this episode, really enjoyed it. This is an episode of Disney's House of Mouse in which Clarabelle is running this, I don't want to say gossiping service, but she's promoting herself as a gossiper, and she spreads some gossip that started out innocently enough, where Mickey says that he could not run the club without Minnie. She's invaluable. But through gossip and whispers and rumours, it gets back to Minnie that Mickey thinks he can run the club without her, which we know as an audience is not true. But Minnie rather, quits her job and everything goes wrong. And I rather like that aspect. I won't spoil too much by saying too much of what goes wrong, but at one point Mickey has to run one of the cartoons on an old projector, which gave us some visual humour that I really enjoyed. I thought that was a lot of fun, definitely a very well animated episode. And the narrative with the moral that you shouldn't gossip and spreading rumours is bad because who knows what's going to happen to the gossip by the time it gets to somebody it can really hurt. Very meaningful. Very directly moral as well. Morally heavy. Not a lot of the episodes are. They always have some kind of message you can learn from, but this one I felt was a bit more direct. We also have two separate cartoons in this one. The first is Minnie Visits Daisy, which I think ran on a little longer than it should have done. They could have cut out a little bit, but generally it was quite interesting. I'll talk about that in a separate video. There's also Minnie's Big Break, which I thought was very funny. I don't think it's something they would create today, but I found it very, delightful, and I'd love to know. I'll talk about it more in a separate video, but basically Mickey and Donald have to dress up as Minnie and Daisy because they've done something wrong. I'd love to know if the animators, when drawing it, did they design Mickey and dress him up as Minnie, or did they just create him as Minnie? How many differences are there? Can you tell? I don't know. I'm really fascinated to know, kind of, if you strip back Minnie and Mickey, do they look identical? I don't know. I wonder if I could find that online where you take off Minnie's eyelashes and take off her lipstick and her bow. Does she just look like Mickey? And the same with Daisy and Donald. I don't think it's so much the case with Daisy and Donald because I think they do look, in terms of their stature, quite different. But I just found it really fascinating from an animation perspective. So both of those were pretty decent enough. The episode itself was very good. I'd say Thanks to Minnie is definitely a very strong, entertaining, and very important episode of Disney's House of Mouse.